After 1,200 videos, I've found 7 penknives that most collectors completely overlook. These Sheffield masterpieces deserve the 5th pocket slot in your collection. Here's why. First up for you, we have this. Now, a lot of you may recognise this as a Congress. This pattern is actually technically a half Congress, so you only get the 2 blades opposed to the 4 blades. Now, this is quite a prestigious, well-known maker in Sheffield, but because of Ireland. Now, the Irish are very big on these ERA James Barber knives, and this one is one I picked up at Sharp Show this year. It's in wonderful condition. A little bit of odd sharpening with the blade. There's a bit of a sway going on there, but still perfectly serviceable use. Beautiful, like sort of synthetic sway back design. Really makes itself comfortable in the hand, and this one is a bit of a larger one, so it could technically be used as nearly a main carry, if I'm honest. Right about the 3¼ inch to 3½. We got a beautiful sheep's foot blade on here. The fit and finish is absolutely beautiful with those brass liners. Both of these blades have superb action, really nice crisp half stop and walk and talk on the main blade. Second blade is a pen, exactly the same, beautiful tang stamp on that one, and you get that same fantastic walk and talk. And this one, having the 2 separate blades, lends itself to be a real heavyweight, where you've got a pen blade for, well, sharpening your quills, pens, or more recently, it's going to be sort of package opening, letter opening, things like that. And then you have this sheep's foot for more detailed work. I'm a huge fan of this James Barber knife, and it's one that if you find, you really should be picking up. Next, we have this. This is what I like to call a small sleeve board. Sleeve board gets its name from being wider at one end than the other, and this is what I would call a quintessential British penknife. You've got nickel silver bolsters. This one I believe is faux ivory on there, so imitation ivory, and this has the traditional blade set, which is a fatter pen and then a skinnier pen at the other end. And this one is made by R. Groves of Sheffield. Again, beautiful fit and finish on these, and you will struggle to find any of these Sheffield penknives with bad fit and finish. They were made flawlessly. They were designed to be a proper gentleman's carry or a gent's knife, and the action on all of these is superb. You don't get any sort of lazy action. Again, you can see the Groves tang stamp on the back here. Nice snap on both the blades. This one a little bit shorter. This one being a definite, for sure, 5th pocket carry. Slide in and out of that 5th pocket without any issues whatsoever. Do your little cutting task, put it away. It's discreet, it's slim, perfect gentleman's carry. Next up is one I got as a gift from Mikey Newman, and I absolutely love this thing. Solid stainless steel, I believe, but it does have some sort of hallmark on there. I'm not sure what that stands for. I've not actually looked it up, but I probably should. Maybe someone in the comments can tell me. This is a solid construction, pinned beautifully, and this is a John Watts of Sheffield. Beautiful, long, skinny pen blade on this one. Now, this being a true gent's knife, much like the one previously. Nice sort of equal end design, bolsterless. And this one has something very unique on it I've never seen before. This has, if it'll focus for me, a frog on the tang stamp. Never seen any other knives of that before. But beautiful construction. John Watts, another well-known Sheffield maker. Unfortunately now no longer making knives. But beautiful little pen knife, this one. And then next up is one that not many people might know about. This is made for, and where's the mark? Wilkinson sword, if you can see that on there. There we go. Now, this pattern was designed by Trevor Ablett. So if you've ever come across one of these and you picked it up, you've got yourself a nice little Trevor Ablett design. I picked this one up recently as I was after a really good condition one, and this is superb. Beautiful Warncliffe blade on this one, and you get a coping blade as the secondary blade. That's something you don't normally see on a penknife. You get them 2 separate blades, and of course the walk and talk is absolutely flawless and second to none, with the build quality being fantastic. Now, this is one of the ones that is built to be truly stainless steel, so you get the stainless steel blades as well. Absolutely fantastic. Any of these would make a perfect 5th pocket carry. Which one of these four would you carry? Let me know in the comments below. Now these next two I've got for you are real Sheffield heavyweights. This first one here, beautiful jigged bone, lovely sort of nickel silver bar inlay shield. And this one I picked up when I was out with Mikey, Sean and Lynn hunting one day at Elsica. And it is absolutely beautiful. Now it's an equal end. It is again a little bit larger than what you'd get as a typical penknife, but it has the same sort of blade set. And this is a Brooksbank. You can make that out there. Wonderful sort of larger spear blade on this one. And then has the classic secondary pen blade with a tang. You can see a little bit clearer on there. Beautiful snap on both blades. Of course, being an older one, this is carbon steel. Really enjoyed picking this one up. Now, it wasn't this cleaner condition when I first got it. I have restored this. And I've used it since, but it's still pretty clean. I left most of that natural patina on the blade. And of course, this carbon steel takes an absolute wicked edge. Nickel silver bolsters with the brass liners and that carbon spring really make it pop. And the jig bone really sets this thing way above most other knives in this sort of collection. You can see that the tang is very slightly raised on this one. And then the pen blade one is nearly hidden. So we're getting towards a very pocketable sort of knife. Pen blade, again, for all your small detailed tasks. And that spear blade on the Brooksbank, I would say, is probably big enough for most of us to do our everyday task with. I know for a lot of the work I do, if I'm in the office or if I'm not having a day in the workshop, this would be more than plenty for me to do anything I need for the day. So the Brooksbank then, this is more of a sort of a 3.6 inches, sort of think about Arthur Wright Barlow size to this one. So great for the fifth pocket because it is still nice and slender. One of my absolute favourites. And this one is real Sheffield royalty. Now this is an early Joseph Rogers. This is in ivory. You can see the carbon steel back spring, very beautiful construction. Nice delicate brass liners on this, very thin. And this is something very unusual I've not actually seen before. It's a serpentine shape. I've got a couple like that, but it has bolsters on both ends. Rounded one at the main end and a small square one at the base of the knife. Now the serpentine, you generally tend to get a Wharncliffe blade, and you can see this one's got a blade stamp saying Wharncliffe knife. And then you can sort of date this one. We have Rogers Cutlers to His Majesty. Now, Queen Elizabeth was crowned in 1952, so this is some point before then. And then you get a beautiful little pen blade with a half stop as well, and you can see the star and Maltese cross on this one. Now, I'm a massive fan of these serpentine style knives. I've got a couple, one by HM Slater Venture, and again, one by ERA James Barber. But this one, with the bolsters, has got to be my absolute favourite. Now, those first 6 knives are absolutely flawless. I love them and I carry every single one. But none of them have what number 7 has and why this sort of knife should be your number 1 pick too. What we have here is a Harrison Brothers and Howson pocket knife or pen knife. And it isn't the shield that makes it stand out, although it is an absolute beautiful work of craftsmanship. And you have to remember, these would have all been made by hand. You can see the intricate stamping on that shield, and it's beautifully flush. Again, this one I believe to be in ivory, and although it's a pen knife size, it is to have some characteristics of a split back whittler as well. You can see that brass divider getting thinner and thinner towards the end, where it becomes 2 springs that look like one. But being the size of this one, about 3 1/4 to 3.5 inches, I would class this as a pen knife. Now, we get the usual stuff out the way. Beautiful pen blade. There is the Harrison Brothers and Howson stamp. Nice action on this one. You get a little bit of a thicker blade because, of course, the 2 thicker back springs. You also get a pen blade on there as well. And you can see this is another one, Cutlers to His Majesty. So you know this is proper Sheffield royalty brand right here. Same with the Joseph Rogers was at that sort of period. These also produced cutlery for the royals. But neither of these 2 blades have something that I absolutely love on a 5th pocket knife. And it's actually the reason why I've generally carried a Victorinox in my 5th pocket, like the Ambassador or the Executive. Now, I've just cut my nails, which was probably a dumb move for making a video on pen knives. but it has the manicure or nail cleaner blade, whatever it might want to be, unique. Got the nail cleaner blade at the end. You've got the file here. Nail nick does make it easy to get out of, and then a file on the back of the blade as well. One of the best, if not the best penknife in my collection, putting it above all these ones that I've shown you throughout this video. For me, this Harrison and Brothers and Howson really stands above the rest with quality, fit and finish, materials, and uniqueness of the manicure blade. There you have it. 7 forgotten Sheffield makers. Beautiful pen knives that complete your EDC. Which one would you add to your collection? Let me know in the comments below. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and ring that bell to be made aware of videos when you drop. Have a wonderful day. Peace out.